Namaste everyone, this is Madhuri here from Madhuri Yoga. I welcome all of you to this wonderful session called How to Build Your Immunity Using Yoga and Ayurveda. So before we get into the session, I would like to introduce myself. I am basically from Bangalore. I am from a chartered accountancy background. So a few years ago, I met with an accident, and because of my medical condition, I was bedridden for a period of 9 months. And that's when I started practicing yoga, and I came out of my situation in a natural way through natural healing methods. And 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with another hormonal condition called PCOS. I'm sure all the ladies listening to this will know what PCOS is. So it's a hormonal situation, and doctors told that there is no cure for it, but then I use again natural healing methods like yoga and meditation, pranayama, and other kinds of methods to heal myself. Now I'm completely out of the situation. My health is absolutely normal. So this situation inspired me to spread the knowledge of yoga and self-healing to a lot of people, as many people as possible, because we have a lot of medical conditions around us. So that's the reason Madhuri Yoga came into place. And now, right now I am taking a lot of yoga sessions and everything. And with me in this session is Mr. Sachin. I welcome you to the session, Sachin. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
Namaste to all viewers who are watching this. I am Sachin Habbar, working software professional, passionate about Ayurveda and creator of Self Healers Hub, on a mission to help 100,000 working professionals live a healthier, happier, and a more energetic life through the ancient Indian science of Ayurveda. And why did Self Healers Hub come into existence was due to this one line which I saw in an ad saying India will become the diabetes capital of the world by 2025. That one line made me think, rethink, and implement the Ayurvedic lifestyle, Ayurvedic tips into my life. So after implementing it for 2.5 years now, I decided that I should come ahead and share this knowledge with all the people who are interested in Ayurveda and want to, take control of their health. So I believe the health is of three parts. Getting your health right is first the Western side is the restoring the health, but the Eastern side, the yoga, Ayurveda, is working on you. So you need to acquire and maintain the health as well. So that part we need to make sure. So we need to introduce self-care in our system, in our lives. So that's what I did for 2.5 years, and I'm continuously doing it. I want to share that. So I started the Self Healers Hub on a mission to help 100,000 working professionals live healthier, happier, and a more energetic life through the ancient Indian science of Ayurveda. And really thank Madhuri for giving me this opportunity to add value to the viewers who are watching. Thank you, and namaste to all again.
It's so lovely to have you during the session. So, as we all know, we are in the situation of this global pandemic called Corona COVID-19 situation. So, everybody is talking about immunity, immunity, immunity. How exactly are we supposed to work on our immunity? This is one question that is on everybody's minds. We see a lot of messages, a lot of posts saying you do this for immunity, do that for immunity. There's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of vague information out there. So I thought, why don't we target the specification of immunity with a little bit of experience knowledge, given that both of us are doing this for a period of time. So why don't we combine this knowledge and give something value to the people who are watching? So yes, the first question that I would want to ask you, Sachin, is that a lot of my students who have come to learn yoga from me keep saying that they have digestive issues. So why is this digestion becoming a big issue, and what is the relation between digestion and immunity? Can you throw some light on that?
Yes, Madhuri. So let's understand in the scientific perspective of Ayurveda what it says about digestion is. So digestion is controlled by the Agni, Chatur Agni, and Ayurveda says that when you sit for eating food and there is the digestion process starting, it's a very intensive action on the body. So what I say is the bloodstream has to completely come into your stomach for digestion. Okay. So when that happens, automatically there will be lack of blood to other parts of your body. So your immune system is another part of your body, right? So there will be a lack for it. And then what we will do is we'll keep on eating, will not follow the correct timings, we will have irregular eating habits, or we'll not give the correct gap between our meals. And when we do that, we are already constantly making our blood flow into stomach, and automatically the immune system is lacking. It's not getting that power, energy to fight back. So always, I would suggest the digestion habits needs to be corrected in this way. No snacking between the meals. And when you eat a good meal, please leave at least 3 to 4 hours of gap and don't eat anything in between. And then with that way, you can keep your immunity on top. The scientific way of saying, and Ayurveda says that, and it recommends everyone to follow that. So I am following that. I request you also to follow that. Whoever is watching this, don't snack between your meals. Don't have irregular eating habits. Okay, keep your immunity on top by following this method.
Yes, that's a very simple method to follow. It's not too complicated. Thanks for making it simple for us. So if you see in terms of yoga as well, why the immunity goes down is because we are always stressed. So we are filled with a lot of emotions, negative emotions like tension, worry, anxiety, sadness. So all these things pull our immune system down. I'm sure Sachin, you also agree with me on this.
Yes.
So with yoga, we can also improve our immune system, wherein we can practice meditation, we can practice pranayama. We can also do a lot of asanas, the physical activity. So all these things will improve our stress levels, which indirectly will improve our immune system as well. So the more stressed you are, the lesser that your immune power is. The more you're calm, the more you're relaxed, the more you're happy, your immune system is automatically better. Okay. So you were talking about some of the eating habits wherein you suggested that we are not supposed to snack in between. Eating habits.
Yes, surely I will speak about that. What eating habits we need to follow. So currently, you have to have in the Ayurveda is dividing the eating habits into 3 parts. Okay, so in the morning, always Ayurveda says the fire is high in the morning. Why? Because sun is coming up in the high. It's in the high state. So like 10 to 12 o'clock, that meal time. That is very good for a good meal, heavy meal, breakfast. Next, I want to go to the afternoon. Afternoon, slowly the sun is losing its power. The sun is losing its power, so pitta is going down. So lunch should be less than breakfast. And what happens to dinner? So these days, these lifestyle changes, what we have seen, Madhuri, we have already seen that many people are having heavy dinners. Yes, heavy dinners. But what Ayurveda says, Agni is completely down. It's completely like the fire in your stove is gone. So you're trying to cook the food with no low flame. Keep eating too much, and then in the morning you will not feel energetic. You'll be very groggy, grumpy. You'll feel like, oh, why did this alarm go out, man? Why did this come in? Why the morning happened? Oh, so you started your day with wrong emotions and affirmations. That's gone. So in the night, as far as you should have less than your lunch at least, make sure of that. Okay, so always do this, follow this principle of Ayurveda. So based on the nature, observe the nature. When sun is strong, like 10 to 12 o'clock, if you see the sun is very strong, that time you eat a good food. Then you see what happens. Slowly the sun's power keeps on going down. Yeah, before that you eat it. And in the night, what happens? No sun, so less Agni. If you see our ancestors, they used to follow this, but dinner they would finish by before sunset itself. Yes, but now automatically, because of our lifestyle, we cannot do this. So I'm saying don't have much in the night, less than the lunch at least less than the lunch. So that is the correct eating habits. When you follow this, surely it will help you to enhance your immunity, improve your immunity. Over to you, Madhuri.
Yes. So we have heard the saying that have your breakfast like a king, have your lunch like a prince, and have your dinner like a beggar.
You beautifully summarized it. Yeah.
So that is the concept that we all have to remember. So apart from the food habits, if you see the yoga point of view as well, during the day, generally all of us are sitting in front of our laptops with our phones, and we are always sitting. It's like a sedentary lifestyle. So what happens is when people are having such kind of a lifestyle, they automatically start gaining weight. They automatically have droopy shoulders. They have hunched back, and the physical structure, their posture itself changes. So what yoga prescribes is that we need to have some kind of physical activity throughout the day, wherein we are not having a sedentary lifestyle. So it is not enough that you practice 1 hour of yoga in the morning or in the evening, and the rest of the day you're sitting in one place and you're becoming lazy. No, that is not the right way. So what you can do is all the working professionals, many of us are working from home now. So what we can do, what we can all do is that make sure that every 1 hour, I mean, as in when you're working, every 1 hour, just get up and go for a walk and come back and sit in your place. And time and again, a lot of people have neck issue, back pain and everything. So sit in your chair wherever you're sitting and keep doing simple neck exercises and, rotating your neck, rotating your shoulders. So these are some of the simple yoga habits which will actually keep you active and keep you it'll also keep you what you call energetic basically throughout the day. So this is not just that we finish one yoga practice in the morning after the session or in the evening whenever you are doing yoga and forget about it the entire day. No, I always have this belief, I always prescribe this to everyone around me, that you're not a yogi when you're on the mat, you're a yogi throughout the day. It's not just on the mat, but you're a yogi throughout the day. All right. So there is one question that everybody keeps asking nowadays, and it's like, given that the situation of COVID-19 is a little uncertain, all of us are wondering that what are the best home remedies to to boost your immunity and keep ourselves healthy. Can you suggest some simple home remedies for us?
Okay. See, first and foremost, let's see the home remedies and what are the herbs which we were actually using in our previous generations. If you just observe, people were always, using tulsi. Tulsi is very, very good for your immunity. And tulsi, what I say is take at least 4 or 5 leaves, put it in water, boil it, and drink it. The most simple way to keep your immunity on top. The tulsi water. Many Ayurvedic physicians also suggest this. Ayurvedic doctors suggest this. Okay, tulsi water is very good. Okay, now we have one herb called Amrut Badi. That also is very good, easy to grow. If you have a garden, go and put it in your garden and grow it. Tulsi is good, Amrut Badi is good, and one more I would like to mention is the Dodpatre. It's in English, it's called the Mexican mint. And you try it, please. You try it out. Dodpatre is very good for immune system. It's very, it's like very spicy. It has a spicy taste. Okay, it will help you get that energy for the immunity. It will reduce all the mucus formation because it's spicy, right? So when it's spicy, it will reduce all the kapha, and it will help you to be in a good immunity shape. So Dodpatre, Tulsi, and Amrut Bali, these are very good for you. And also, if you cannot do all this, then a glass of hot water at least is very good, because water, when it's boiled, it acquires a certain sharpness. Okay, so that it can actually penetrate to your cells and actually flush out the toxins through the bowel movements and the urines. Okay, so that way also it will clear your body, keep it clear. So hot water is very good. So try to keep having some hot water, and don't only have hot water, also have some cold, but hot water also you bring it into your diet. Okay, so I'll repeat again for the viewers: the hot water is good. You can add tulsi, Amrut Bali is there, and also Dodpatre is there. So these four are really good try it out. If you have a garden, grow it in your home. If you do not have a garden, at least take a tulsi, take tulsi and grow it, start growing it in your home. I would suggest you this one so that you can keep your immunity on top.
Perfect. So for those who don't know what Amrutapalli is, it is called Giloy in Hindi. And I also heard vitamin C helps in improving immunity. Is it true?
Yes. See, vitamin C, if you go into Ayurveda, it says amla and lemon. Amla and lemon, these two are fruits which have the capability to balance all the three doshas, the vata, pitta, kapha, which Ayurveda says. It's able to balance lemon and amla both. So amla is the small one. Small is the native Indian amla, which comes. It's a small one. Yeah, better than nellikai. So that's very good. So that also you can actually mix it with your water and drink. Yes, lemon also in the morning you can squeeze little bit of lemon in that hot water and drink. That also is really good. It will help you in your acidity also. So lemon is very good. Amla is very good. Scientifically, Ayurveda has described it. So I'm not going to tell any other recommendations which are not good. Lemon and amla are all prescribed. They are known to reduce the vata, pitta, kapha and balance it. Yes. So when you have vata, pitta, kapha balanced, yes, immunity comes up. Okay. So try to include these 6. Like Madhuri has just added 2 more for you. So
Yes.
lemon, amla, tulsi, dodpatre, and amrutpalli. All these are really good for you. Go ahead and take it. Over to you, Madhuri.
Yes. So you were talking about the 3 doshas. So for the viewers who haven't had an idea about this, can you give a short description of the 3 doshas?
Okay, so this is good. See, let's go ahead and I'll not go deep into it. I'll just tell you vata means air, the air element. The air element is the vata. The pitta is the fire element. The fire means digestive fire, which keeps you alive. And kapha is the element which keeps you together. It keeps you together. It's the sticky element. The relationships, the love, that happiness. Kapha is all associated with these emotions. Forgiveness. So kapha is the sticky. It's very sticky, right? It keeps you connected. So that is kapha, the water element, because water is always flowing. Yes. And pitta is fire, air is vata. So these are the simple explanation of what is vata, pitta, kapha.
That's a wonderful way of describing. So we learned about simple home remedies, Ayurvedic remedies to boost our immunity. Similarly, even yoga has a few simple remedies to improve your immunity. The pranayamas that we do, the different pranayamas like Nadi Shuddhi, Ujjayi Pranayama. Ujjayi Pranayama is very, very beneficial to increase your lung capacity. And Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama is very beneficial to balance the heat and the cold in your body. So there are various kinds of pranayama in yoga which will also help in boosting the immunity. And the best remedy for anything, all kinds of body imbalances, all kinds of ailments is the Surya Namaskar. So I'm sure Sachin also agrees with me.
Yes, I practice it.
Yes, definitely. So Surya Namaskar is like an all-round remedy for all kinds of ailments that you have. So you can practice Surya Namaskar. If you are a beginner in Surya Namaskar, you can start with 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar and increase it day by day, like 4 rounds, 5 rounds. And ideally, if you practice 12 rounds of Surya Namaskar every day, it will be beneficial in all kinds of ways, internally and externally as well.
Yeah.
So yes,
caution.
now
one word of caution: don't overdo it. Don't overdo
absolutely.
it.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. I was actually coming to that. Some of us fall sick, and some of us, have various kinds of health issues. So during these kinds of health issues, what should be the eating habit that we need to follow? Can you give some insight on that during our sickness?
Yes, Madhuri, this is a very good question. And I would say that when you are sick, you need to respect your body. As Madhuri has suggested all the great yoga techniques, but when your body is not good, do not do it. Okay? Do not do those yoga techniques. Give it your body a little bit to get back into shape, and then do it again. Okay? And while eating, you see, society will scare us. saying, oh, you have fever, oh, you have this. What if you will lose energy if you do not eat? Yes, there is some myths going on. But what happens is, see, understand the body is very beautiful. The body is very intricate and it knows when it needs food, when it does not need food. So when you are sick, it will automatically say, I don't need food, boss. I don't need it. Don't give me. So what happens is, if you eat the food, then the manifestation, diarrhea will start, or any other indigestion problems will start. So during sickness, it's always good to have easy to digest food. I would like to give some one or two examples, like you can have khichdi. That's for the people who are above South India, like North Indian people. They like khichdi. They can have khichdi. South Indians, we always used to have the gruel. Yeah, in Kannada, ganji. Yes, it's very good. So easy to digest food during sickness. Very good. And try to keep your fasting there. So when you fast, so as I said in the beginning, the blood is distributed to the immune system. Stomach is saying, I am relaxing now. Okay. So the blood is gone into the immune system. So the immune system says, I need this now. So it will pull all the resources and it will make you healthy and heal you well. So make sure when you're doing in your sickness, take the light to digest food. Try it, and see for yourself. Yes, see for yourself. That's the work of us coaches, to help you, guide you, but you need to implement and see the results yourself. Over to you, Madhu.
Absolutely. So our body is a very big miracle, like how we have been seeing. It actually has a way to indicate. It gives us messages. It gives us indications, which we need to learn how to read the indications of our body. It also has self-healing power. So you don't have to put any kind of external things to heal yourself. The body itself has the healing power. Even in yoga, when we say that, okay, you need to do yoga every day, but when you're sick, when you're tired, and for ladies, when they're having their menstrual cycle, all of these times, the body itself says, okay, I need to relax. You need to relax. I need rest. So that's when you need to take a pause, and then once you're fine, you can continue your practices. So always listen to your body. So more than understanding, we all know how our laptop works. We know how our mobile phones work. We know all the apps, how to use the apps. Similarly, we need to treat our body as well. We need to know how our body functions, what is good for your body, what is not good for your body, what is acceptable, what does your body reject. We need to have an understanding of our own body. That's when we can have the perfect health and good immunity as well. So yes, the last thing that I would want to ask you is that now that the COVID situation is at its peak, I'm hoping it doesn't go to a higher level after this. But yeah, I'm hoping that soon we will be out of the COVID situation. So how does Ayurveda come into place once the COVID situation is over?
Okay. This is again great question. See, Ayurveda has a beautiful concept called the Dinacharya. So it means the how you live daily. So the nugget for you is what you do today affects your tomorrow. So what you do today affects your tomorrow. So it has the concept of Dinacharya, of having the good habits in your life, maintaining a great rhythm in your life. It's giving you all that concepts. And I would say Ayurveda is like, hidden inside you. It's been hidden. It's been buried. So now there is an external trigger that whatever is buried inside, you have to dig it out. Dig it out, guys. Dig it out. Ayurveda is inside you. Start following it. Start following it in your life. Use the Dinacharya concept and understand what you do today affects your tomorrow. So do not get frustrated that something is not going right in the life or not. Just understand that what you do today affects your tomorrow. So today you can start making a change, and your tomorrows automatically change. So that is the concept of Ayurveda, which will help you after Corona as well.
Absolutely. So both Ayurveda and yoga are ancient Indian traditions that we have been following and forgotten following. It's like a roller coaster ride that has been going on. So like you said, it is hidden within us. We have always heard our parents, grandparents say a different, different medicines. Okay, if you have cough, have this, turmeric milk, have pepper. They all knew, but we have forgotten. So I would like to give an example where from the Ramayana, where Hanuman, he was supposed to fly to Sri Lanka. He was supposed to fly over the ocean to Sri Lanka, but he was having a doubt about his own capability. He was doubtful about his strength. So that's when Jambavan, Jambavan, he came and he gave a realization to Hanuman, saying, "Okay, the strength is within you. You can do it." And that's when Anjaneya, the Hanuman, he took a leap to Sri Lanka. So similarly, the strength, the knowledge, everything is hidden within us. We need to just discover. We need to have a self-realization to come to an understanding that okay, it is possible to lead a healthy life. We need to just bring small lifestyle changes. That's it. So if you see from the yoga point of view as well, you don't have to do tough asanas. You don't have to practice meditation for an hour or whatever it is. 15 to 20 minutes of yoga, 15 to 20 minutes of physical activity and meditation. I have heard a lot of people say, okay, I'm not able to focus. I don't know how to do meditation. So much of worry that they are not able to do meditation. Basically, meditation is supposed to make you calm, but some people become worried because of meditation that they are not able to do meditation. It's an irony. So you don't have to take so much of tension. Just sit in silence for 5 to 10 minutes. Sit by yourself. Leave all your electronic devices. Sit by yourself in silence for 5 to 10 minutes every day and discover yourself. So that's how we can proceed, wherein yoga and Ayurveda both are so relevant it was relevant in our past, it is relevant right now, it is relevant in the future as well. So I'm sure Sachin also agrees with me on this, that we are living with yoga and Ayurveda. It is a very, very important aspect of our lives. Do you have anything else to add on this?
I just have to add one more point here. Many think that the generations are changing, everything is changing, medical sciences are changing, but why Ayurveda does not change? Let me tell you, Ayurveda in its scriptures has written it's a Shashwat science. It means it's always applicable. It's always applicable. It will never change. It's a Shashwat. Yeah. The constitution of our bodies does not change like that. Each one has a unique constitution. Each one will be divided into Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And Ayurveda always apply at whatever time. And even yoga is the same. So these are Shashwat sciences. This will not change according to generation and generation. It will always keep on applying. And that's the beauty of the sciences, of ancient Indian sciences.
All right. So we have heard a lot of Gyan today, so much of Gyan. So people might be wondering, okay, how do I implement all of this? How do I find more information about this? So Sachin, can you let us know, let our viewers know where can they find you? How can they get in touch with you?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Madhuri. So guys, I have a Facebook page called the Self Healers Hub. You can search for it. I'll put the link in the first comment if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching this on Instagram, then you can follow me. Self Healers Hub is my handle on Instagram as well. And YouTube also is the same name, Self Healers Hub. All the links will be in the comments. Yes, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can just go ahead and subscribe. I'll be putting the link as well. Yes, and I would say that come and look at all the videos. There are many videos which have been made. I also have a group where I keep on asking people for what they want to learn more. You can join that. Link will be in the comments. You can join that. You can participate in what you want to learn, and more value can be added to you so that you can implement, start living a healthier, happier, and a more energetic life. So links will be in the comments or in the description if you're watching in YouTube, or if you're watching this in Instagram, in the bios. Yes. Thank you, Madhuri. And for all the viewers who are watching this on my channel, Madhuri's yoga channel. There is a Facebook page called Madhuri Yoga. Okay, I'll be putting the link below. And there is also her YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll put the link below. And Instagram, you can go and search for Madhuri Yoga in Instagram, and you can follow her for all the good yoga techniques. I personally have actually got the Surya Namaskar, tips and techniques of how to do it correctly, how to do the postures, the breathings. Yeah, that's really good. Thank you, Madhuri. So you can follow her, guys. Follow her for all the yoga questions and how to do the yoga asanas. Go ahead and do it.
Absolutely. So I do take regular classes. I conduct a lot of workshops as well. So all the details you can find on my page. So all the links related to both of our channels and contact details will be posted in the comments. So please search here and there. Please do join. It'll be helpful. It'll be beneficial for all of you. And during the current times when everybody is looking around for a lot of tips and for a lot of immunity boosters, we are trying to give this message to as many people as possible. So do find us on social media, do follow us. And I hope you've all found this session useful and informative. I hope you all enjoyed the session as well.
Anything you content forward, whatever we have shared here, I think it will help many people. So if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, please pay it forward. Be part of the larger good by sharing the good. Be part of it. So pay this forward. Hit that share button, okay? On Facebook and YouTube. Hit that share on Insta also. Share it in your stories. Yes, let's create a healthy world by creating a healthy you.
Yes, absolutely. I do agree. So whatever knowledge that you receive will be useless if you don't spread it to more people. So it is a very good, if you're not giving any kind of gift, physical gift, you give the gift of knowledge to the ones around you. So like Sachin said, please share this to as many people as possible so that they also get benefited. So with this, I think we can conclude the session. Thank you, Sachin, so much for giving a lot of value, a lot of information to this session. I hope you all found the session informative. Anything you would like to say in conclusion, Sachin?
I would say that we are working too much on restoring our health. It's time we work on acquiring and maintaining our health. That way, please understand that please always go ahead and make sure that you are taking care of yourself. You are always going into your self-care mode and love yourself. Be happy, be healthy. Health is your true wealth, and the state of your well-being is determined by how you live and eat.
Yes, absolutely. So we spend a lot of money in a lot of material things and we tend to ignore our health, and only when the health goes bad, we realize, okay, we are supposed to do something about the health. That is the general tendency. So let us come out of that and let us try to have a healthy life all through the life so that we are stress-free and we have a very good immunity as well. So yes, with this we conclude this session. Thank you, Sachin, for being a part of this, and thanks to all the viewers for watching this. Take care of yourself, stay safe. Until we meet next time, namaste.
Namaste. Thank you all for watching. Stay healthy.